Plastic is one of the most enduring materials man has created. Nowadays, we all know that it can take hundreds of years for plastic to degrade. Microplastics are tiny particles of plastic that can be eaten by marine animals and end up in the bodies and tissues, entering the food chain and leading to disastrous consequences for the health of our planet and all its inhabitants. Even if human beings are becoming more and more aware of the hazards this material poses to life, the presence of plastic in our ocean is continually increasing. And plastic pollution is still one of the main causes of marine species extinction, health problems for human beings and animals alike, and the destruction of our ecosystems. Plastic pollution in the ocean. Where does it come from? It is clear that plastic pollution is one of the most pressing environmental issues we are currently facing. But how did it come to be? Moreover, where does all the plastic in the ocean come from? Plastics produced from fossil fuels are just over a century old, but they have revolutionized our life completely. It has allowed the invention of many life-saving devices and the implementation of new technologies that changed the course of history. However, the great advantages plastics offered led to a throwaway trend that makes us discover plastic's dark side, the threat it poses to our environment and life. The majority of plastic pollution in the ocean is caused by littering. We buy or use disposable plastics and do not dispose of them properly, which cause them to end up in the waterways and eventually into the ocean. Plastic pollution, some key facts. Plastic waste makes up 80% of all marine pollution, and around 8 to 10 million metric tons of plastic end up in the ocean each year. Research states that by 2050, plastic will likely outweigh all fish in the sea. In the last 10 years, we have produced more plastic products than in the previous century. The Environmental Protection Agency has stated that basically 100% of all plastics human beings have ever created are still in existence. Plastics generally take between 5 to 1,000 years to degrade. Even then, it becomes microplastics without fully degrading. Currently, there are about 50 to 75 trillion pieces of plastic and microplastics in the ocean. This plastic either breaks down into microplastic particles or floats around and ends up forming garbage patches. Consequences. Today, plastic production and use is still at its highest, but the data on recycling are not all promising. Only 10% of plastic waste we produce is currently being recycled. The rest is either incinerated, causing air pollution, or ends up in our oceans and environment. Harm to wildlife. Plastic pollution in the ocean has a devastating impact on marine life and ecosystems. The most obvious one being the damage plastic items cause to animals when they become into contact with them or ingest them, which includes suffocation, entanglement, lacerations, infections, and internal injuries. Harm to human beings. Microplastics have now become part of the food chain and have been found everywhere, in drinking water, salt, beer, and in the soil where we grow our vegetables. Plastic materials are carcinogenic and can affect the body's endocrine system, causing developmental, neurological, and reproductive and immune disorders. Another hazard is given by toxic contaminants that often accumulate on the plastic's surface and are then transferred to humans through the consumption of seafood. Climate change. Plastic pollution and climate change are two sides of the same coin. Plastic production, as it's created from fossil fuels, highly contributes to the climate crisis. Moreover, when plastic waste is incinerated, it releases carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere, increasing emissions and worsening global warming. Economic effects. According to research, the yearly economic costs of plastic in the ocean are estimated to be between $6 to $19 billion. These costs are given by its impact on tourism, fisheries, aquaculture, and government cleanups. Why is it vital to prevent plastic pollution? Plastic pollution is undoubtedly an issue that requires worldwide cooperation. Its consequences affect the world, planet, and its inhabitants. It threatens ocean health, the health of marine species, food and safety quality, human health, coastal tourism, and contributes to climate change. Reducing the presence of plastics in our oceans will not only allow us to save marine species and ecosystems, but will improve our overall health and that of the environment in general, helping us fight climate change and working towards a more sustainable future. What can we do? There are many ways to keep plastics out of the ocean. Reduce plastic use. Think about all the plastic items you use in your daily life. Can you even count them all? Being more aware of the way you use plastic is a great starting point to reduce plastic waste. We know habits are hard to change, but even a small individual commitment can make a difference, especially when talking about the reduction in single-use plastics.